is up, my friends? Welcome back to the Home Slice. So those of you who are familiar with my channel will know I've been on this hunt to find the perfect all-around knife that can do everything. And those of you who have been watching my channel will know that I've had some better at some things and some better at others. This is the Fallkniven A1 in VG10 steel. This has been put to really hard use for 90 minutes chopping through wood, and this is a pumpkin. So I test my knives and how they do in outdoor tasks, and I test the edge retention, and then I do a practical test, which is a kitchen test, chopping a pumpkin, peeling a carrot, cutting up an apple and slicing it, and slicing through the skin of a tomato. Now, I received a custom knife recently that did amazing at this and blew my mind. And in my mind, I'm thinking nothing can be better than this Coastal Camper by Jensen Knives. But I promised my viewers to head it off against the winner of my dual grit chopping tournament, the Fallkniven A1. Now, this was chopping real small brush, but this thing kept an edge that was still breaking through skins of a tomato after 14 hours of chopping use. As I reference videos, you'll see tags flash up above me, and so you can check out those videos if you go back through if you want to. Anyway, I've already done an apple flaking or slicing test with this knife, and it did not so great because of the very thick spine, I think. But the link for that video is here. Obviously, I've already put it to very intense use with a dual grit edge, which it held very well, and followed up that testing with a tomato slice. So today, the only two things that are left for us that we need to do is the pumpkin chop and the pumpkin peel, and the carrot peel and the carrot chop. That's what we're here to do today. I'm gonna get right into it, and then I'll give you some thoughts later. Let's do this.
She had strength left within her. Ground grew colder and covered in white. The woods wept and shivered. They were raised for their timber. If they could, they would run for their life. You were calm and warm.
Oh, nice. Okay. Just a second, I gotta clean up. Your whispered revolution, sparking the forest on fire. And you were in the flames. The wild was being tamed. Oh. Okay, overall thoughts. Oh, my exposure's way out. Oh, there we go, it's a little better. Okay, overall thoughts. Fallkniven A1. I would have to give it probably first place for the tomato test. It would seem that the only thing that matters for the tomato test is whether you retain bits of edge that have that original keenness. And this VG10, actually, though it has been shown in my testing in really, really hard use to lose little bits of edge because the toughness is not quite so high, it also retains little bits of edge. And those staying keen actually pushed this thing beyond any of the other knives I've tested in terms of being able to cut a tomato easily with just the weight of the knife with the most abuse. With the apple flaking test and the carrot cutting down the middle, it wants to steer out because that convex gets so thick by the time it reaches the flat of the blade. So it's not so good with that. It would be workable. You could totally do a camping trip and just use this and it would cut up your apples fine. It just wouldn't be quite as enjoyable. What about the pumpkin? Well, it exploded the pumpkin. I couldn't get it to chop through without throwing pumpkin chunks everywhere. So as a pumpkin splitter, I mean, maybe that's why it's so effective in a chopping application, actually, because it's got a thin convex like a good axe, which actually throws chips. I never thought of that, but I think that's actually true. And that's why it actually excelled past some of the other knives, because they're so thin, they'd bite in, but they'd not throw chips and clear for the next cut. Wow, actually, I'm so glad I did this test. I was thinking about not doing it because I was like, nothing's gonna match the Coastal Camper, but I'm so glad I did because that's actually insightful, I think. As far as peeling the pumpkin, I would say that that matched my best experience actually, which really surprises me. It actually peeled the pumpkin as well as, not any better than, but just about as well as the Coastal Camper. And I think that's primarily due to the fact that the behind the edge thickness is pretty close. It's a little bit thinner on the Coastal Camper, but they're both around that 17 thousandths of an inch mark. As far as peeling the carrot, it bit in a little deep because of the thickness again, and so it was really easy and you could totally use it, but it took a little bit thicker chunks off of the carrot and didn't preserve as much of the middle. When it came to chopping the carrot, it did great. No complaints there. When it came to chopping the pumpkin, when I would chop the bigger chunks, it would want to split them and throw them off of the cardboard sort of cutting board here rather than just slicing through them. So not the best experience there. I would say first place overall on the tomato cut goes to the Fallkniven A1. I would say it matches for first place the pumpkin peel. I would give it second place. It was right alongside the top silent hero for the carrot peel. For the carrot chop, it's right in the middle. For the pumpkin splitting and the pumpkin chopping, it was a bit out of control with the thickness, and I would put it close to the bottom, probably somewhere there with my Kabar Becker BK7, which is thicker behind the edge than a normal Kabar Becker BK7 because I've sharpened it so many times. So thickness problems there. What's the synopsis overall? Okay, overall synopsis, I think Fallkniven is doing an amazing job. Just the fact that you can have a knife that's this durable, where they actually taper the grind so that it's thinner in the chop zone, they laminate the VG10 between some more durable steel to make up for any lack of toughness. It's a beautiful drop point. You can see I stabbed into a pumpkin seed there to pick it up, and that point is so functional. The edge shape is perfect. The behind the edge thickness is amazing. And could you take this camping and use this as your all-in-one knife? I think you actually could. Like, I think that of all of the designs that I've looked at, this is among the top ones that I've used. Probably up there with the Coastal Camper, not quite as fun in the kitchen, a little bit easier to chop with. It's not got the power of the Kabar Becker BK7 in a chop, but the overall utility would be pretty evenly matched. It's a little more enjoyable to do food prep with than that knife is. Top Silent Hero is a contender, and where the Top Silent Hero is fast and thinner, this comes in a little bit more powerful actually, and a little bit nicer for some of those food prep things, but also you give up that ability to do splitting. Not a lot of us are going to be splitting a pumpkin on a camping trip, so overall I would wholeheartedly recommend this knife. It's a brilliant design. I'm amazed by the edge retention they got out of the G10, and I'm a little sad to send it back to the donor who sent it to me, but I think Andrew's gone without his knife for long enough, so we're going to send this guy back home. I love Fallkniven after using this. I was not a Fallkniven guy, but here I am. I really enjoy this knife. I don't know where that would put it overall. It's definitely didn't match the Coastal Camper, but it's probably sitting there second, third place, neck and neck with the Top Silent Hero. Overall, I'd probably just prefer the Silent Hero just a hair for food prep, and the A1 just a hair for actually chopping. Anyway, that's me for today. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you enjoy these. I think I'm getting my head around this a little bit, and you need behind the edge to be thin for peeling. You need the overall stock to be relatively thin, or the grind to have a real gradual slope for splitting pumpkin, chopping the apple in half, chopping the carrot in half. That's really beneficial. You need weight forward for it to be an effective chopper out in the bush. And so I'm starting to get my head around the sorts of things that make for an ideal all-in-one knife. And I probably won't repeat this kitchen test unless I have a real standout that you guys want to see. I'm just cleaning off the Fallkniven A1, and I realized that one more detail I would want to consider somewhat in a camping application is stainlessness. And this VG10 is not going to rust easily. And I think if you're prepping food or you're going to be out where it's wet, that is a valuable consideration, which maybe in the realm of overall knife that I would choose for an all-in-one would probably bump it up just over the Top Silent Hero, just a hair. Not a big deal, and I know most of you guys will be like, that's not a big deal, give me edge retention or death. But I do find that I do worry less. Like, I'll be chopping something, it'll be wet conditions, I'll pop this thing back in the sheath and I'll think, oh, is that gonna rust? I gotta remember to wipe that off and oil it when I get home. And then I'm like, oh no, I actually don't have to worry about that quite as much because of the stainlessness. So that's a valid consideration, I would say. Anyway, if you want to see the battle where this goes up against the Top Silent Hero, chopping down actual trees for 90 minutes, check out this video here. It's really fun and a fairly surprising result. For all the rest of you, hey, I'll just say peace out from the Home Slice. I hope you have a great day. I hope you're blessed.